What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon
What's up? What's up?
and LeVon Maynard.
And welcome to the show.
What is going on? So if you're tuning in, this should be a Tuesday episode. Make sure you listen to Mondays, where we talked about some FBI warnings about USB devices. That's pretty interesting stuff. Definitely check out tomorrow, Wednesday's discussion. Thursdays are usually Ask Us SP. However, I'm taking a 2-week break because I had to schedule some stuff to get some people on the show. And then Friday we talk about everything else. So that could be movies, books, TV, just things we do to unwind throughout the week. So we can't cyber it all the time. So you gotta take a break from time to time. But without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
All right. So this article is from Reuters.com, and it's written by, I thought I saw an author on here, but maybe I didn't for this one. Disregard. Oh, Josh Smith. There it is. Josh Smith. I got an easy name for mine there, LeVon.
That's right.
But this one is North Korean internet downed by suspected cyber attacks, say researchers, right? So this article, actually, this one was published on January 26th, and this was actually the second time that North Korea's internet was actually hampered. So the first time happened, it was a couple weeks ago, like January 13th or 14th or something like that. But their internet seems to have been hit by a DDoS attack, right? So this one kind of came, so they don't know who, they're not sure on who actually did this to them, right? But it coincided within hours of North Korea doing its 5th missile test this month, the month of January, right? So the speculation goes out there, well, was this China, right? China, I'm not going to say it's unlikely, right? Because China is one of the ones that's kind of been allies with North Korea, but with China, so first off, they had the means to do this, right? Like they have whole divisions, floors of Chinese nationals that are out here doing this stuff, this type of cyber warfare. This is kind of where they make their money now, right? Not literally make their money, but this is how wars start in this day and age, right? But China, because it's so close to them, because North Korea is so close to them and doing these missile tests, which are not always the most accurate, there's speculation that maybe they could be one of the ones that actually did this to them, right? So, but again, not a guarantee, right? But the reason they know that it's actually a DDoS attack and it's not a matter of, one of the things that was brought up previously was because they have such poor infrastructure, it could be that they just lost power, right? But the way that the DDoS is working, it's not like they're losing everything all at once, right? Like if you lose power for whatever reason, you lose it all at once. This was kind of a phased approach where stuff started dropping out because it was getting overwhelmed, right? But it was all types of havoc being wreaked on them, right? So servers that do their email were inaccessible. They had all types of issues. Internet access, which is already limited in North Korea anyway, right? It's probably about 10 people that were affected by this, right? That are at the heads of the government. But yeah, so I lost my spot here. The DNS server. So DNS stopped communicating the routes that data packets should take. Again, and this is the second time this happened to them, right? And it coincided with their missile test. But operational degradation, when it comes to doing this type of stuff, they again, even though not a lot of people have access in North Korea, like the few that do are probably ones that are doing stuff that's really important for the country, right? So this is somebody speaking out to them like, hey, possibly stop the missile test so close to home, maybe, or maybe somebody getting back at them for something that they think was done against them previously. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know for sure, but we know this is the second time in about 2 weeks that they got hit with a DDoS attack over in North Korea. But LeVon, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting article. Obviously, we hear about, all the attacks that happen in the U.S. soil, and companies maybe even Europe and then across the world, but we don't hear much about North Korea having situations like this. And then I think, last week we talked about Russia having like a similar situation. And it's interesting to see some of these locations where we're typically locations that are typically known to be actually sources of these cyber attacks actually be affected. It's definitely interesting to hear about. And actually kind of curious, I'm sorry if I missed it earlier, but curious where, like how they discovered that they were attacked. Because I know North Korea tries to keep things kind of low key and under wraps, and they must have some sort of like intel, some secret, agents in the field in North Korea that know some of the, some of the details as far as their network status and things of that nature. But it's interesting that this report got, revealed. This information got revealed to the public. But like you mentioned too, Shannon, it's like, I'm curious how many people in North Korea have like internet service and how many people were affected by this actual outage. Because you think of North Korea, you think of their, typically from my understanding, and I've never been to North Korea, but it seems like the people there are very kind of limited on what they can access. I think they have like definitely like a firewall setup where you can't access just like regular public internet websites. You can't go from North Korea to just like go to facebook.com and just browse. I think they want to lock everything down so that you're only connecting to like North Korea servers and things of that nature. And then when I thought about it too, because this just kind of coincided with a news article and, something that it's maybe kind of a side note, but Microsoft recently had they prevented like the largest DDoS attack from occurring on some of their Azure servers. And I'm kind of curious if maybe that's somehow related in some aspect of maybe the same attackers or some other attackers were involved with that attack. But Microsoft had deployed some services that prevented the DDoS from affecting their Azure servers in Asia. But it looks like North Korea doesn't maybe have the same quality of systems to prevent this kind of attack, and unfortunately they fell victim. But maybe this will I don't know, teach them a lesson. They kind of see like, oh, this is what it feels like to be attacked. Maybe we should try to wrangle some of these cyber criminals that we have floating around our networks.
So to be clear, we are not saying that Microsoft attacked North Korea.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, make sure that's clear.
Let's make that clear.
100%. Yeah, no, Microsoft had a situation where they were, defending themselves, and maybe the same people that attacked Microsoft were attacking North Korea. So make sure that's clear. But I guess with that, Ryan, do you have some thoughts on this one?
Yeah. So I like to speculate as well. So originally when I saw it, I thought it was retaliation for that Russia story that we had where North Korea attacked Russian websites. So North Korean hackers, we don't know if it was like state sponsored or not, but North Korean hackers attacked Russia. So I thought it might be retaliation, but I did not know about the missile test. So I mean, it really could be any of the countries that are just like, please stop firing missiles, like any of those Asian countries or like Big Brother, China or somebody's just like, please stop. Like we feel like dealing with that right now. Do you see what's going on with Ukraine? Like, let's focus on that. Y'all firing missiles out here into the sea. So it could really been anybody, Western or Eastern government that hit them. But I would be curious, like you said, to see what the traffic looks like leaving North Korea. Like how many people actually do have access, and what do they have access to? I think that's how they discovered this. It's the reverse. Like they don't have the systems to. There's no down detector like that website in North Korea that we can look at. I think it was monitoring traffic leaving North Korea and seeing it stutter and then stop. And they were like, "Well, wait a minute, what's going on here?"
They mentioned Air Koryo Airlines or something like that in North Korea. I want to say it was like an airline thing. I think is how they picked up on it.
Oh, okay. Like you saw a company go down. You're like, wait a minute, this is odd. So I'm sure they do have resources, but in my mind, because I all I know about North Korea, the documentaries I see where they're very limited on what they have, I would assume, like you said, it's only department heads or regular people who have computers in their homes. I would assume that all that stuff is intranet. You're seeing what Kim Jong wants you to see. You're not getting out to the real interwebs. But who's to say? Like maybe he's just like, there's these 2 sites you can go to, and that's what you get. But yeah, that whole thing fascinates me because how do you even get computers? Like, do they have to buy them from like Kim Jong Mart? Like how do they can't you can't Amazon stuff in, right? Like so how do they get the
Good
stuff?
question.
No, but
Like
this is how they're also able to control it too, right? So like because there are so many countries that just don't do business with them,
right,
most of their stuff is coming in through China, right? That's why we call them their big brother, right? So China will allow them to have stuff, but even then it's limited, right? China will allow them to have some things and they'll ship some things to them, right? Not caring what the US says about it or any other country. They're just like, we're gonna do what we want to do. We're China. But
right,
um, even then, you got the Un family, right? Or Kim
yeah,
family, Kim family,
right,
right? That is gonna only give out whatever they see fit to give out to whomever, right? Like even when it comes to phones and stuff like that, like I don't even know how prevalent those are in North Korea, right? They're having a hard enough time feeding themselves right now because of
right,
COVID,
right.
right? They've had no COVID cases, but yet they're having all types of issues, with just getting their people fed and whatnot. There was a time there where they were going after their own pets and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's crazy over there.
Yeah, and then I think reports said that the COVID also ravaged them, even though they said they had no cases. Like they still got it, even though they're isolated. And it's just it makes me wonder how some of this stuff works. Just because you don't really think of them in the technology regard, even though they obviously have robust resources because they are the attackers of many different countries. So they got something. They have the ability to get out there and do what they need to do. But yeah, originally when I saw this, I was like, do they just monitor Kim Jong Un's internet cafe? Because I assume his palace has a room. You know what I mean? Come here to get the internet while I watch you on it.
It's also highly unlikely, right? It could have been a misconfiguration, right? So it could have been someone in the country that just had a misconfiguration that handles all of their
DNS and what
infrastructure,
have you.
right? Yeah, but the fact that it happened twice, I mean, I think it's unlikely, right? And hours
Right,
after a missile test, it's like somebody said, "Hey, stop doing this." You know what I mean?
right,
More than likely,
right.
right? It could have been us. It could have been the U.S. You never know.
I was gonna say it could have been a warm up, right? Like
Yeah.
attack a smaller, less robust network, and then go from there. Kind of like how Russia did Georgia before they rolled the tanks in, right? It was their warm up before they eventually hit Ukraine. But that's tomorrow's topic. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But really good conversation. I appreciate y'all. For all those who listening, definitely tune in throughout the week. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But I see traffic is starting to go up, so that's always a good thing. Share with your friends, let them know we're out here. Hit up the website www.theothersideofthefirewall.com where you get to all of our socials. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy on LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and Clubhouse. And you, LeVon?
Yes, sir. You can hit me up on the Twitter at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.